so quick. I hit the rabbit on the third bounce.
Where did you hunt?
This, and I had for years, then I decided, well, I'm gonna polish that son of a gun. So I polished the steel, and it got a nice looking gun.
Did you take it to a gunsmith or did you do it yourself?
I polished it. And I don't know how it was, but here it is. It evidently did it.
So where did you go hunting with that thing?
Huh?
Where did you guys go hunting?
On our farm back in Missouri.
And you just hunt rabbits pretty much, or what about birds?
More rabbits than birds.
Well, there wouldn't be a lot left of.
When I moved out here, I had one of the first gun out here. I hunted pheasant.
Yep.
And they got some pheasant with it. What a nice gun that is. What a beautiful gun. Oh, 12 gauger.
How much? There wouldn't be a lot left of a rabbit if you hit them square with that thing, would there?
By the time you get it up to your shoulder, the rabbit's quite a ways away from you, where it don't tear them up too much.
What kind of loads were you shooting?
I think number 6 shot. That's pretty big. Pretty big for that. You should use number 8 shot for rabbits because it put more pellets out. They're smaller, but it puts more pellets out. And there was take good care of this gun. Ready. Take good care of it. That looks like what it did when I was a kid on the farm. Except it was cleaner and brighter.
Cleaner now?
Yeah.
You haven't, well, the stock looks pretty good. Good shape.
Yes, it does. CK means Campus Farmer. And that was in someplace in Kansas. Maybe Topeka, Kansas. And we had a magazine from Campus Farmer too. We had it. And the best I could do was the best I could do. It didn't.
Well, Grandpa's initials were my initials, LSO. Is that what's on the stock? Or did I see an F on there? Did I see the initials that are on the stock? Look at the stock of the gun. What are the initials on there?
Well, I really can't tell with these cameras forever.
Oh, look at the other side. There's a CP. Or is it CF?
DL it says.
I think it's LO.
It
I mean,
might have been.
It's not like stamped with a. I mean, it's like somebody wrote that, not a letter that was like a typeset letter that was stamped in it.
Right. I must have done a pretty good job because I'm proud of it. I must have done a pretty good job of it. Gee, I can't believe it would be that heavy. And I used to carry it and didn't think a thing about it, how heavy it was. I must have been stronger. I must have been a stronger kid.
So, when do you think Grandpa got it? I mean, it was there all your life, even when I mean, do you think he got it when you were a kid, or had he had it?
I see it hanging in the milk room. I see it hanging there on the wall. It was there when I was as far back as I can remember. And I remember my brother Pete did something while it was still hanging, and cocked it while it was still hanging, and when it went off with a bang.
We put a hole in the wall?
Yeah, knocked. And one time I was going hunting, it was cold, and there's snow on the ground, and so I decided I'd ready this thing for use right while I was in the milk room, because it wouldn't be so cold on my hands. So. And somehow I tried to cock it or let it off, put it on safety, and it slipped on my gloves because I think it had a little ice on them. It slipped on, bang! It went out of the door, into the kitchen door, past the kitchen door, and hit the porch and tore up a bunch of the things on the porch. The porch was made of. It didn't knock the hole through, but it knocked the top of it off. It just split off a bunch of it. And my dad and my brother Les was cutting, or was making harness. It was patching harness in the kitchen, because it was warm in there. You know, back in them days when it's cold, it's really cold. And so they was patching up harness. Les got it, and he got some leather somewhere. They got some leather, and so my dad and Lester was fixing harness. And I shot right across the door. That's what the hell's going on here? told him and showed him the place where it hit. He yesed it a little bit, went back in and went to work on the harness.
Well, didn't you catch hell from your mom?
Huh?
Didn't you catch hell from Grandma?
No, I don't remember what
Well, you put a hole in the door.
in the porch,
Yeah, you could have killed somebody.
the floor. It didn't hit the wall, it hit the porch right by the by the door that, what was I going to say on that?
You talking about material that was used in the porch, like screen or lattice?
No.
Whatever.
But anyways, the door was right here. It hit in the porch, right in front of that door, right, and tore a hook out of it. And I heard the pellets bouncing around. I expected to get help for that, but I didn't.
How old were you at the time?
Probably 14, maybe 13, 13 or 14. They shouldn't have let me do that, but they did. They let me do it. My mom and my dad both. I remember my dad saying one day when I came home from school, he says, take the rifle down and you go get the cows and get us a couple rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that told me, and I was in I think it was 5th or 6th grade.
I was about 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old then.
Yeah,
Jesus. And did you do it?
yeah. I got this gun and 3 shells. 6 shells cost 3 cents a piece, and that was 3 cents that was hard to come by. So I got 3 shells, this gun, and my pony. And I got my old pony out there. I got on him bareback. And I went to the cows down in the north pasture or something like that. I know where there's in the north pasture. And I went to get them. A long way from my house. And I got them. And I think I got a couple rabbits. Well, generally I'd take a rifle. Generally I'd take a rifle because I could see a rabbit sitting in his little hutch. Rabbits would dig a little grass out and make a little hutch so that they would get in with their backs to the wind. And then that's where I would go looking for them, and I could see them. They'd be hiding, and they see me come all of a sudden, I'd be there, and so they'd settle down just so I wouldn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
But I always see them. And I would get them because I would head shoot them in the head, and boy, the, the flesh was perfect, you know, as good as it could be.
I'm sure they appreciated
My
you not making them suffer.
My, my mom would,
Oh boy.
when she fried chicken, and my mom could, oh, she fried the best chicken, and you could put a parts of a rabbit in there with them, and you couldn't hardly tell the difference. I always said you couldn't tell the difference between a chicken and a rabbit.
Well, were those big rabbits in Missouri?
Huh?
Were those large rabbits on the farm?
Well, they were cottontail. There was jackrabbits too, but we didn't eat jackrabbits. We ate cottontail, and that's what I went after and got.
How many? How heavy? How much meat would be on a typical cottontail rabbit?
Well, more than what would be on a chicken.
Really? They're pretty good size then.
Yeah. More flesh. So you get a couple cottontail rabbits, and I'd bring them home, and on the barn we had a nail and a loop of string. Over here, a nail and a loop of string. So we get a rabbit, stick his leg in that loop, and draw tight, the other leg, hind leg, and put it tight over here, and put him up a little bit higher. The rabbit was just as good as the chicken. Of course, the rabbits was young rabbits, and that's just what I would look for, and I'd get them. Well, with the rifle, you do like that. You'd head shoot them so that they wouldn't tear up the flesh of the rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was always so glad to cook them up for me.
You were doing that in the summertime then, or the
Spring.
springtime? Okay, not so much the winter.
I'd go to school, come home, get a rifle, and go into the woods. And I knew where them rabbits sat. I knew where they were. And I'd go down and I'd look. Sure enough, they'd be there. Of course, one or two of the others be there. And I'd bring them home, and I'd dress them out. My mom never dressed them. I'd dress my own. If I brought two rabbits home, I'd gut them, and skin them, and give the pieces to my mom, and then she would cut them up into pieces so she could fry, and she did. And this was no gun. You were out by my dad's gun. It was my dad's gun.
Well, how did you come to get the gun instead of Pete or Uncle Les or Uncle Frank?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I did, but it was just as much mine as anybody's, and I would get it. And I polished it. That's before I had a polish shop, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's how it was. You were the.
I knew how to take this gun apart down to the littlest screw. And I don't know how the heck I ever carried a gun this heavy. Ooh. Ooh. But I did, and I could swing the thing up to my shoulder so quick, I'd get around the floor and get 3 or 4 hops away from me. By that time, he'd be going pretty fast, so he'd probably be 40 feet. And I'd mow him down. And we'd have fried rabbit. Fried rabbit for supper.
Hey, Dad, I'm going to post this this video to YouTube so Mary and Patty and everybody could see it.
What's that?
I've just been recording this.
Oh my gosh.
So they could see that. I listened to a podcast. This guy's his name is Joe Rogan. He does he oftentimes interviews hunters, and he's, I guess, a hunter himself, and he talks about getting out there and either bow hunting or what have you. It's still a sport that people enjoy. There's no date on that gun. I was looking for one.
1897.
Yeah? 1897?
Yeah.
Wow. Jeez, 1897.
It's model 1897. I don't know what the,
Well, that makes it 120 years old.
if that's the way that's what it says there.
Well, that's probably
I
it.
don't know whether that was just a model number or, but it probably wasn't. It probably was.
It's a Winchester. Is there a model? There's numbers on it, but I didn't see the date. So if it's 1897, that makes sense. About 120 years. That would make sense. If it was an older gun you thought it was an older gun when you were a kid.
Well, I didn't think it was being old. Model 1897. Winchester. Let's see. WINCHERTBIT. That's what it looks like. It's take it, see if you can read it. It's right here.
Oh, it's not focusing.
Model 1897.